Hey, this is Ann with Gideon Gardens. I thought I'd do a little garden update. The orange patios are still putting out lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. We pick some off of there almost every day. Still getting ripe blueberries. Hey, baby. Here's the oca. I'm not supposed to touch this until December, they say. They say it's not even all this foliage growth, and they're supposedly not even producing tubers right now. I'm weeding. I am just very curious about these tubers. And my shamrocks are growing real nice. Onions curing. Some plants. Fall plants started. My grandmother's orchid. Leeks coming in amongst the crabgrass. Or not, these aren't leeks. These are buncheon onions. Training a fruit tree. The limbs were crossing on the inside, so I figured I better do something about that. So I've got them just a little bit of tension with some water bottles hung down there. My line of peppers. I just picked a bunch of peppers off of these too. See the flower garden. It's doing really good finally. It's come up lots of zinnias. Sunflowers are coming up. Gladiolas, they probably won't bloom this year, but that's okay. They'll bloom next year. The pineapple tomatoes we got in late are doing okay. They're finally getting some tomatoes on them and doing all right. Still picking strawberries. But I need to get in there and do some pruning, a little bit of work to them. These are my pride and joy right here. These Chinese, let's see if I can get out of the shadow. Those Chinese long bean. They are just awesome. We have thoroughly enjoyed these. In fact, I just picked a bunch a little while ago to pickle. But they're a good tasting bean too. Nice firm texture, good flavor. I'd encourage anybody to grow these things. A handful just makes a whole pot. They're awesome. Sweet potatoes are coming along. Scotty said he found a flower on it earlier. And let me show you a couple projects we've done. New compost bin. Just 4 pallets knocked together, some netting around it. We filled this one up, the geo bin up. We filled that up. So we built this one and put the stuff from the geo bin into here. Let that compost down a little more and started filling the geo bin up again. Oh boy, there he goes. This is my newest project.
Welcome to Beantown.
My English country garden. My first attempt at making a woven fence. It didn't turn out too bad. It's not great. Cardboard's down, but we still have to get a load of dirt in there.
She's trimming it for you.
Yeah, she is. Stop chewing on that stick.
Yeah.
Gracie loves to chew on sticks. The comfrey, the crowns are coming up. I don't know if you can see them or not. The crowns are coming up, but I've got it all, the roots and, the root cuttings and stuff all in this little area here. Let's go this way. Friend got in a bunch of stuff in his store in these boxes, bread boxes, and I thought I would just go ahead, since I'm running out of room back here to plant stuff, that I would fill these up with dirt and plant my fall peas in them. So that's all set up. Got the IBC cut in half for the 2 wicking beds. Did a bunch of trimming out on the hugelkultur bed. We're going to tackle that here in the next day or two to get it laid out correctly. And we'll go in the garden. Bob's, these are things that I trimmed off of tomato bushes over here. Bob stuck in the ground. They perked right back up and they're growing just fine. Planted a bunch of onion sets and they're coming up rather nicely. Let's see if I can get one in the thing. They're doing okay. My fake snake. The Brussels sprouts look like they are recovering. We do have some new growth up top, so we're just going to let them go. Despite all the bug damage down below, they're really trying to hang in there. Although I'm having to keep it sprayed with BT. I don't seem to have a whole lot of problem on anything else except for the brassicas. Squash are doing real good. We pick a couple off of these almost every day now. Some more onions all the way around here. My lone dragon tongue bean, I don't know how it got all the way down here when the rest of them are up here. I did get some potatoes to come up. But yeah, and the cucumbers are doing okay. They've started to climb the fence now. No flowers on these, but there are flowers on the one in the pot back over yonder. And tomatoes, 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 tomatoes. I mean, big tomatoes just everywhere. And these current ones are getting ripe, and we've picked a few off of those. They are really sweet. We really like them. This is the copia, the big one I just showed you. These are copia tomatoes, and I'm real anxious about trying them. They say they're real good. This back here is getting to be a tomato jungle back here, really. It's almost hard to get between the rows. These are going on the long fence next year. Look at that. I mean, that is a huge tomato. I almost think maybe I need to tie that up. But, I mean, and I have big hands. I have huge hands. I take after my third great grandmother. She had really big hands. At least in the picture I saw of her. Look at that. Just huge. And they just keep continuing to grow. I prune them and they just keep growing. Maybe I should stop pruning them. Yeah, dragon's tongue beans, they're climbing all over the place. Japanese beetle damage. We got some traps and put out, and we did spray with BT, and that did slow it down a little bit. And my problem corner over here that I never knew what to do with kind of took care of itself for me. Some wild, it's either raspberry or blackberry, don't know which yet, started growing up in here, so I just figured I'd just trellis it up and just let it grow, and I'll just, I don't know, do some flowers on this side and just in this corner, see what happens. This is where I want to put my pond anyway, so we'll work on that. Tree collards hanging in there, but it's not growing very much. Got a little bit of bug damage, but I mean, that's more growth than I've seen on it since I had it, and I got that back, oh, I don't know, in the winter. Got a cutting and put it in under the lights, but it is just now really starting to grow. This cucumber in the pot is doing really well, I guess because it doesn't have any competition. It's starting to flower. We got our cucumbers in kind of late. And also from the same store, they delivered a bunch of stuff in these milk crates. So I'm going to make a couple raised beds out of them. Just stack them together, put some weed mat, you know, around the outside, and fill it with dirt and grow stuff. The French runner beans, they're growing and growing and growing. I haven't found any beans on them yet, but there are lots of flowers. So they're doing pretty good. Celery that I was letting go to seed, I think I'm going to pull it up because honestly, I really don't like that variety. It's a Utah tall something or another, and the leaves are okay, but the stalks are so stringy, you have to peel every one of them to be able to eat it. The French runner beans and the cantaloupe are competing for space in the squash. Boy, I really made a mistake on that garden there. I should have never put that squash in over there. Currant tomatoes. I had to cut a bunch of this off just a few days ago, and it looks like I'm gonna have to do it again. We sprayed it with baking soda, but I may have to spray it one more time. I got to get those leaves off of there. But the vines are full of the tomatoes. But and I did find a melon. You know, when you grow this much at one time in the cantaloupe things, it's kind of hard to find the melons. But there is one down in here somewhere that I did find. I won't be able to find it again. You watch. Nope, I don't see it. The squash is doing okay. I should have never planted that squash and cantaloupe right there together. That was a bad mistake. But anyway, some more tomatoes. I think those are the Dutchman's. See, we just cut a bunch off of these plants like 4 days ago, and you can't get by now without running into bushes. But look at all those. I mean, that one is just hanging. This is the pineapple tomato. These are the ones I want to pick, some of them green, because they have a real solid flesh, and do some fried green tomatoes to put up for the winter. And I don't know what these are. Oh yeah, I do. They're black from Tula, so that's a dark tomato. And these are pretty big too. Good size on them. Nice big tomatoes. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you dizzy. Kentucky Wonders are not doing hardly anything this year. I've never seen Kentucky Wonders do so poorly. But we'll try it again later. Some more tomatoes. Another squash. And this, my baby again. Let me see if I can pronounce it. Talakalula tomato. They are doing really well. I just can't wait for some of them to get ripe. They are awesome. Just awesome. And then the pepper plants are doing really good. There's a bunch there and a bunch there. These three back here, the last three, there's some pepperoncinis in there, so I just picked a whole basket full of those to pickle. But anyway, a Signet marigold that the blossoms are supposed to taste like a citrus, but I'm here to tell you they don't. Thought maybe they just might have to mature up. No, they still don't. But anyway.
You show them the IDC.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it, folks.
Have you checked that one squash plant to see if it has squash?
Yes, I did. I didn't see any on there. Saw some flowers, but
there was one.
Squash. Was there? Was it a big one?
No, it's about the size of this one here.
Yeah.
That you left.
We'll go get it. All right,
Why?
folksies. Like I said, that's about it. And y'all take care and God bless. Beans harvest. And beans. I just can't get over these beans. Pepperoncinis to pickle. Squash, tomatoes, and onions. God is good.